Welcome you all to another segment of the Authors Roundtable radio show. I'm so excited to have with us on this episode, this segment, excuse me, Shanika Grant, who is a new author of Faith Formations, and she has done an amazing job. She has an amazing story, and y'all better stay tuned because she's going to be doing some very faith enhancing things to help not just individuals, but also help the aspects of family. So, you guys, help me welcome Shanika to the show. Shanika, how are you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so excited. I'm amped about it. Like, I'm ready. I'm clear. Thank you for having me.
I love it. I love it. So, give us a little bio about who you are, what you do, and what made you come up with Faith Formations.
Ooh, okay, let's do it. So I'm Shanika Grant. Whoop, whoop. First of all, as I've been able to like just change my language as far as like just growing in knowing who God is, I always make sure to just, start with I'm God's daughter first. Like that's literally who I am. After that, the roles that He has blessed me to be able to steward. I'm a wife. I am a mom of two little girls, a 10-year-old and almost 6-year-old in I think 13 days, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And my husband and I, he's my very best friend, Jacoby. We've been married 11 years, been together for I think 16. And I don't think I gave you my girls' names, Braylon Joy and Brianna Grace. And so I'm also a licensed therapist. I own my own private practice, Journey to Freedom Counseling Services, and a new author. And I have two really dope friends where we started a podcast called Doing Too Much Podcast. So that's a little bit about me. And so what made me start the space of what Faith Formations is was kind of back in, I actually found the screenshots the other day, 2021, in my notes section. I was just sitting there and it was just like, a lot of times I get like just words from the Lord, whether I'm driving by myself, when I'm doing those little errands, like Starbucks and Target and things like that. My errands, right? And also just like literally in the shower or in my prayer closet. And one day I was sitting on the couch with my husband and it just hit me. It was like Faith Formations. And I'm like, So I looked at him. I was like, I think I got a word. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what this is. And I was like, Faith Formations. He was like, okay, what's that? And I was like, well, it's literally you being able to hear the voice of the Lord affirming you, telling you what He has already said about you. And so being able to hear those words and being able to back it again as He does by giving you the scriptures, the word of God. And it was just like, duh, Faith Formation. So it takes just like the regular affirmation, and not saying that there's anything wrong with, regular affirmations, but this just kind of amplifies it by saying what He said about us. So that's kind of how we got started with Faith Formations. I'm excited to see where it will go, who it will bless, and just the testimonies from it in itself.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I always get excited when I ask authors, now, how did you come up with this? And to know that it's been a journey. Like it wasn't something they thought of yesterday or 2 weeks ago. Like this has been years in the making.
Yes.
And they just were like, now is the time. So I absolutely love that. So let's talk about a very interesting journey. Interesting part of your journey is I want to talk about the book cover. You had this one cover set in mind, like this is what I want, this is what I want, and then all of a sudden you flipped the script on me. I was like, okay, but I love it. So talk about that, because I think sometimes authors feel like they are married to their first thought, and I always try to encourage them. You're not limited. If you feel like you want to change it before we finish, we can change it. Yes. But I don't want to change it after it's done.
Right. I made it. I made the cut.
So talk about how you started out with one vision and then you was like, you know what? And I think your second vision, hands down, the absolute best. They are night and day.
A picture of like the first one. It was purple. Okay, so in my mind, like purple is one of my favorite colors, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's definitely got to be purple. Journey to Freedom, like my brand colors for that, it's purple. So it was just like it was purple. That's in my mind. That's what it was, and I'm just like, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be purple, like little flowers here and there. it's going to be purple. Yep, I already got it. Let's do it. And so as I continued to take the journey of, rewriting things or updating things or whatever the case is, I was sitting there one day and I was just like, I don't know what I want the cover to be, honestly. It was just like, but I knew I wanted to be like some form of like peace, nature, or something of that nature. But I could not think of what that would look like. And my church, I'm a part of our pastor's mentoring program, and I'm one of the coaches there. And so we were taking a retreat and we were going through the mountains. And I've always loved the view of them. I'm like, it's just like so much peace there. And so as we're driving by, my sister-in-law, we were driving, we were like, got time to stop and take a picture? And we did. We just stopped there and just started snapping pictures. And I'm like, just look at the beauty of what God does. And it's like one of the things that I always so adamant about asking people, like, have you been able to to stop and really see the beauty of today, whether it's in nature, whether it's you just being alive, whether it's you continue to be able to keep going among all the life that be living out here, at times, but being able just to stop and see the beauty of what God's done for us. And one beautiful thing that I'm always reminded of is like, he knew that we would be in spaces where we're like, oh man, those mountains are beautiful. Oh man, look how the seasons change and the leaves on the trees change when they fall. Like all of this is like, he had us in mind, knowing that we would enjoy being able to see the creation of what he continuously does for us. And so being able to see that mountain view, like it took my breath away. And I was just like, that's it. Like, that's it. And I remember sending it to you and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know, but I really want to do this. These mountains, like it was just the perfect. It was just literally like, that's it. God, like he affirmed it. Like, this is what it is. This is my beauty, my splendor, my greatness. Like when you look at the cover, and I know it's kind of like blending in a little bit now, but go get the book, guys, and you guys can see that too. But, but just being able just to see those mountains, that view, the sky all come together. And while you're writing and being able to see a view like that, it literally takes my breath away every time. And then when I got it in the mail, oh my God. Whew, yes. So yeah, you got my vision. You had it and you were like, we're going to try it. You were like, I'm not making any promises. I'm not saying yay or nay, but let's just try it. And the result, man, I have no words, or I do have words, lots of them.
It's amazing. And so I love that aspect, because sometimes we think our first thought is always the right thought. And I had that same thing. I had went with one book cover for my personal book. And then after time had passed, I was like, I don't like that anymore.
Exactly.
And I completely changed it. Like I was like, yeah, I don't want that anymore. I was like, my designer, I need something different, like night and day. And I remember even posting on social media asking, which cover y'all like? This is my old cover. This is my new cover. Why do you think I'm switching? And people, who know me understood, yeah, the second cover is more of your personality. The first one is kind of safe and kind of a little old fashioned, but that second one had more of your personality and you're evolving. And I was like, yep. And of course, there was a few people who liked the old cover. And I was like, I don't care what y'all like. I'm not going to this. Exactly. I was like, And so I want that to be an encouragement. Even if you've already published something, you can still go back and republish it with a new cover. I did that with my very first women's devotional book that I published in 2015. When I republished it, I got a totally different cover.
Wow.
So do not be afraid that just because something is already out there, you can still republish it. You guys, think about this. How many John Maxwell books have you seen with different covers? The same book, different cover. We can do the same thing, y'all.
Yep.
We can do the exact same thing. There's nothing that says this is it and it's final. I had a consultation today with a young lady. She admitted, she's like, I just put something out there because I knew it was what I'm supposed to do. But she says, now when I look at it, she says, I wouldn't buy that.
Wow.
Sometimes we do what we like.
Yep.
My favorite color is purple too. So, the first cover had purple in it. And then the second cover has not a drop of purple in it.
Literally.
Like black and pink. And so we have to look from the buyer's
Mm-hmm.
standpoint, because it's psychology, because people buy with their eyes first and then they hit the buy button. And so I was so tickled, but I love that you were not afraid to say I changed my mind.
Mm, man, man. And I don't even think about it when I do things like that. It's just literally like you say, it's kind of just like I'm going with what feels good, what I know it's true to me, and not what I think might sell. Because if I'm listening to what God has instructed me to do, like he's gonna make it successful anyway. And that's the
Anyway,
key.
listen, anyway, point blank
Anyway.
period.
Anyway.
Anyway. So listen, y'all, don't be afraid to change your mind. You
Please
know,
don't. Please
and if
don't.
you're working with somebody who is like, no, you can't change your mind, you might want to rethink their partnership. Seriously,
Agree.
I'm not telling you to come to Relentless. I'm telling you to make sure you
I
invest
am.
your money. Thank you, Shanika. Invest your money where you're going to get the most for it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I have a lot of
Absolutely.
clients who they have their mind is set and I don't say anything. And I throw we throw our little, they be like, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, so which one do you like? She's like, I like this one. Okay. Sometimes our vision is limited,
Mm-hmm.
until we see something and it's like, this is what I want, but I didn't know how to articulate it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't know how to say
Yes.
it in words. And
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. It's okay. So
That's good.
I
That's
love
good.
that journey. So tell people how they can purchase the book and how they can follow you on social media.
Okay, yeah, y'all come on through. So you can. I'm so silly. It's me. I've learned to accept it. I'm just there. I'm just there. But ladies and gentlemen, well, I do want to say this, my fellas. This one, the first one is kind of geared. Buy it for your sister, your auntie, your mama, all of that. Because you'll see a lot of hey sisses and hey girl and all of that in there. But I'm coming back for you. I'm coming back and I got something for you. Believe that. But definitely you can go to Faith Formations. See that? Faith Formations. LLC.com to purchase this journal workbook. And you can also purchase on Amazon as well. But let me tell you a little secret. If you go on faithformationsllc.com, you'll also receive not only the journal workbook, but a special little surprise I put in there too for each person that goes on the website. So make sure you go to faithformationsllc.com. And I would love to hear from you, like on my social media pages. And so on Instagram, that would be at Faithformations, FaithFirmations, or at The Real Shanika G, ShanikAG. Yeah, you'll see me on there. And Facebook, you can do the same. It would just be Faith Formations. You can find me on Facebook as well. So I would love to be able to hear from you. I'm ready to see all the purchases and the stories. And just, I feel like this space or this book will just be for some like an introduction of being able just to be able to feel God's love and to hear his words affirming you. I think so many times, and this is real quick, I just think sometimes when we're growing up, when you don't necessarily hear those affirming words and you hear the opposite, sometimes it's hard for you to start hearing and believing the truth of what God is saying to you. So as you get older, people can tell you like, you're special, you're worthy, you're loved, but you can't hear that because for so long you've been conditioned to hear the opposite, or you've been conditioned to think, oh man, I got to settle for this or whatever. But that's not what God says about you. That's not what he says. And so this book, I definitely feel would just be that encouragement, that motivation for you to know that you can get what you need. You can hear from him. You can be affirmed by him, and you can walk in that fullness in any room, in any circumstance, and know that you're backed by God. So that's all I got for that. Yeah, I'm excited about it and what it will do, and for other journals to come for my men, for my families, marriages, all the things. So stay tuned.
I love it. All right, you guys. So that wraps up another segment of the Authors Roundtable radio show. Don't forget to tune in every Monday, 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time on WDRB Media, the voice of the community, giving you double the information and inspiration. Until we meet again, remember, it's never too late to get your right on. You guys have a wonderful day.